Chapter 40. Homestretch. Leaving. That week at church, I didn't see Sarah. I was starting to get worried. Surely we would have heard something if something bad happened on prom night, but she seemed to just be gone. I couldn't really blame her. We almost did ruin a friendship and then save it out of sheer drunken luck. And she had distanced herself after like that after the last dance, so I chalked it up to our routine of being awkward and a proclivity of bad decisions. Still, she wasn't one to miss church. Even Jay and Kylie showed their faces, but were coincidentally sitting on both sets of parents instead of the youth row with me. I was by myself. And when it came for the congregation to pray, my thoughts didn't wander to anything about myself. All I could think about was Sarah and where she might be. On the drive home, I saw her dad's Mazda, and so I figured someone must be home. After getting changed out of my church clothes, I told Mom I was going for a walk and then began the long trek down to her house on the road. It was windy that day, and I remember noticing just how loud the trees were with the wind sound in them compared to the last time I trudged up this way with a snow shovel anyways. I couldn't hear myself think like I could before, with subtle if not difference in weather threw me off, just like the rest of the weekend did. When I got to the powerhouse, Walter was working on his riding lawnmower just outside the garage and saw me coming, the dent from his daughter's snowblower incident still clearly outlined in the white siding of the building. "Mr. Weeks," he said, "what do I owe the pleasure?" "Nothing much, sir," I said. "Is Sarah around?" He twisted a ratchet he was using a hand a few times, and a small but barely audible clicks, centering him in his thoughts as he captured my full attention. "Yeah, I figured you might be why you're here," he said, the tone of his voice reflecting a disappointment that he had. "Grab a seat. This'll take a bit." I sat down on the weathered picnic table just past the garage door and waited for Walter. My stomach was turning as I prepared for a talk about her spending the night, and to my surprise, Walter ducked into the garage and emerged in a few seconds with 2 bottles of beer, the same kind Sarah brought over to her first study group. "Beer?" he said, offering me a bottle. Yeah, I said, accepting the bottle. "Sure feels like a trap, though." Walter laughed, an honest deep laugh. "That's a good one." There was a small pause, and I ventured to ask first, "Sir, where's Sarah?" "I figured somewhere in the air at this point," he said. "The air?" I asked, confused as all hell. "What?" "She left for college early, son. Had her bags packed before prom, and I was going to take her to the airport Saturday evening. Figured she would be late for a party after your house." He caught me suddenly avoiding his glance. "Yeah, I know. Don't worry. I'm not mad at you or her. That's what prom's for," he said, brushing the teenage antics off. "She showed up earlier than expected and left earlier, too." To say I was relieved would be an understatement, but my relief turned into a word stronger than devastated that hadn't been written yet, at least not in English. "She's on her way to college town. Probably has a place set up for the summer and should probably move into her college residences," Walter explained. "That part's up to her, though." "Where did she get accepted?" "Nope," he said. "Can't tell you that. Part of the deal of me letting her go early was that she could go without a list of friends, hounding her or judging her for her choices." "So she just left?" I asked, betraying a bit of my fear in my voice. "Sarah and you, if you don't mind me speculating a bit, both stopped being kids the second you graduated. And she took that seriously, damn more seriously than I did when I was her age. If you're not careful, you can get stuck somewhere because of tradition and familiarity." He took a long swig of his beard, and I followed with a sip. "She didn't want to get stuck with her dad in this house full of memories, and thought friends and family wouldn't let her move if given sway in her life. So she made me promise to keep my mouth shut so she could be on her own for a bit." "I just thought she would have told us," I said. "That's why she didn't," Walter said. "She wants to live her life, not her life plus the opinions of friends and family. And I'm damn proud of her for making that kind of foolish decision and being able to actually stick to it." Walter pulled another long drink from the beer bottle. "There have got to be 100 different ways for her to keep in touch with you on her phone. Social media is a diverse beast these days, and she's supposed to call in for a check-in every week before church. If she misses one, I'll let you know where to go looking for her. But if not, I imagine once college starts, she'll reach out and brag about her dorm room, and remember her friends are a useful distraction when you're alone for the first time." I took the long swig of beer now. A semi-bitter ale hit me hard as the news. "Thank you for telling me, sir," I said. "Not a problem, Chris," Walter said, standing up and heading back to the mower. "Tell your mom I'll be over tomorrow morning early to deal with them crows. It'd still be a rude wake-up call, but perhaps a more permanent one," he winked, and shot a finger gun at me to the nearest tree in jest. I laughed and thanked him, leaving the beer bottle on the table and starting the long walk home. I had thought that the worst that could happen to me after last night would be an awkward conversation and a summer of at least still being friends with Sarah. I felt robbed after the conversation. I couldn't talk to her. The way she had just ghosted me along with the rest of the social circle seemed painfully personal. Were the feelings that we had talked about all just fluff to be discarded after prom? Did the tears we both shed through Sean's accident mean less than that? I was mad, I was disoriented, and the person I loved, or the very person I thought was my friend, had left. So I left in return and just walked home. Chapter 40. Hope you guys like. Links for the book are in the description below, and we'll talk to you guys soon.